Well, it's a red wall that will welcome Verl to the pitch as Rot-Weiss Essen are desperate to end what has been a disastrous end-of-season run. Rot-Weiss Essen hosting Verl. It's the penultimate match day of the Dritte Liga season. Well, as you can see with your own eyes, an absolute sellout here at the Stadion an der Hafenstrasse. 19,100 crammed in, and they'll be hoping the wrecking ball isn't coming their way again. It's been a disastrous run of form, and that's why there are huge changes, 6 in total. Returns for Kraulich, Uning into the defence, as even the captain Schultz has dropped to the sidelines. Sławkowski also in, as is a return for Ramian Safi from suspension, and Kuber Potecznik has been given the role of leading the line ahead of top scorer Janssen, who also drops to the bench. Tobias Strobel saying he's going nowhere. Plenty of speculation about whether he will move to pastures new. But Verl still have a chance of promotion, but it is win or bust. And of course they'll look to their magnificent number 10, Berkan Taz. 34 goal contributions, with 16 of them goals. He will leave at the end of the season on a free, and he will be sought after. But can he take Verl into the second tier? Stocker also comes into the defence. It's his first time he started at centre-back alongside Enns. Flynn Otto not in the squad. And the other change is a return for Joshua Eze, the 23-year-old, back from a thigh injury. So in Flynn Otto's absence, Niko Kajewski leading the sides out. Rot-Weiss Essen desperate to see a run of 3 straight defeats come to an end. It's a run that saw them concede an incredible 13 goals. Even more shocking after it came following a winning streak that put them into the promotion conversation. 7 wins swapped for 3 straight defeats. But Duisburg's 0-0 draw with Aue last night has opened up a door. Victory for RWE, and they would move level with the Zebras. Although Duisburg with the better goal difference. Max Burda taking charge of this one. And certainly the home goalkeeper will be looking for much, much better from those in front of him. Jakob Goltz taking over the armband from the benched Michael Schultz. No wonder there were going to have to be changes for Ove Kosniat, given the disastrous run of form. But Verl arrive here. Victory, and a big one, 4-0 over Havelse. Gave them the opportunity to come here and keep their dreams alive. 3 points behind Rot-Weiss Essen. A victory would see them above their hosts, given they have the best goal difference in the division. And it would give them a last day shout of the top 3. It'll depend on how Enege Kutbus get on, kicking off at the same time this afternoon. But first things first, the teams have to focus on what they can do themselves. As we see Ramian Safi, 3 goals so far this season, but a creative force. We'll be hoping to be just that. Verl get us underway. penultimate match day of Dritte Liga 2025-26, and a must-win game for the visitors Verl. And even if they could still finish in the top three, depending on other results, as well as that Duisburg draw, Rot-Weiss Essen will want to get all 3 points and give themselves the best opportunity of a rise to Bundesliga 2. Rot-Weiss Essen had a 7-point lead in mid to late April. They were practically promoted. Then the disastrous 3 consecutive defeats. 5-3 at Energie Cottbus, having led 3-1. Leaving Keito Mizuta weeping at the end of the final whistle from their last outing. A 6-1 demolition by Stuttgart's second side. But here is the Japanese, who will be hoping to smile come the end of this match as he swings the ball in. Cleared away under not too much pressure from Verl's Martinez. Well, he'll be looking to turn tears into cheers. 9 goals this season for the 26-year-old. Joint top assister in the squad with 11. And there we saw Kosiat. It's certainly been a painful few matches for him. Looking to make sure Rot-Weiss Essen end the season on a high. It's just such an unforeseen collapse of form. But the draw of Duisburg has given some hope, as we see on the bench someone whose 31 appearances have generally been starters, the club captain. But Michael Schulz will likely put personal disappointment to a side if the changes to the lineup, 6 in total, and the formation going to a back 3 will work for Kosniak's side. Well, a hard late hit. But Verl arrive knowing their top 3 hopes are mathematically alive, but barely. They need to win today. Their season has been about punching above their weight. We see that even just the fact they've only got 6 named on the bench. Club of 1,350 members, a stadium of just 5,000, nicknamed the Village 11, who did top Dritte Liga earlier in the season. They have the best attack, 79 goals, and alongside that, the best goal difference in the division, even better than the already crowned champions Osnabrück. So that could be a massive extra for them if they can get themselves into the reckoning with a victory this afternoon. Well, Rot-Weiss Essen without Jasula, Bubari and Abiyama, 3 key players, although, as mentioned, Safi returning from suspension. And Kosniak, as good as his promise to make major changes after the devastating defeat at Stuttgart. Though those absences forcing his hand somewhat. Well, he referenced a 5-1 win over Hanover in January as the template. A furious opening 20 minutes set the tone. But Verl not here to play into their hands. Schulz certainly taking all the time allowed with the ball at feet. Although the men in red not exactly pressing as they do now. And the boos ring out for young Schulz. Ever present, only 23 years old. That's a couple of times the referees had to step in. Attackers just leaning that little extra in. So reminder, Rot-Weiss Essen starting the day on 64 points, 2 behind Energie Cottbus before kickoff and 3 points above their visitors in black, Verl. Now a chance to step forward. Pass in the end, not reaching its intended target. Tobias Krochlich in his first start since April, now having to try and get back into position as Verl threaten. Superb defending. And it was excellent work back. Well, certainly they've been feeling the heat. And on this occasion, Yannick Hoffmann stepping in to help out. Well, he'll be desperate to keep them happy. So victory for Rot-Weiss Essen today would take them level on points with Duisburg, just behind them on goal difference. We'll wait to see how Energie Cottbus get on in their matchup. As it is, just the one goal in the afternoon kickoffs. Matchday 37 at Dritte Liga. And Stuttgart's second side have continued where they left off against the Reds. Here's a chance for the hosts to try get themselves ahead. Brummer launches long. Verl let it bounce. It's a pop from the young striker, Jakub Kuber-Potashnik. Well, the 20-year-old Slovenian striker. Limited starts, but getting his opportunity here. He did come on to grab the consolation at Stuttgart. Getting a starting jersey for the first time in a couple of months. As Krolich not exactly too subtle there with his challenge. Well, they'll be definitely very wary of the man on the ball. Walid Mahamdi, 9 goals from right back. That's including with 8 assists. Now lifted ball in, headed away though. A slip at an inappropriate time and Verl can step forward through. Electing to slow it down. Here's Jan Otto. Jari Otto providing that bit of width, but Mercantaz slows it down. Certainly Verl want their number 10 closer to goal. Mercantaz, 16 goals and 18 assists, best in the division by a distance for goal contributions. Free agent after June 30th. No wonder Bundesliga 2 sides and elsewhere in Europe we've been watching. Player who's already spoken about his ambitions for Bundesliga or even La Liga. So a big summer ahead, especially at 27 years old. Well, there's no real pressure on Philipp Schulz, unless it comes from the home side, but they have now picked it up through Safi. Bundled over by the referee, happy with the contact, and there comes a late challenge. Very much retribution. And there might be further punishment, although it does look initially as if the referee's just going to have a quick word. Well, they were unhappy at not receiving this as a free kick. And so in came a hard hit, Gianluca Swatkowski. Berkantaz frustrated. His coach is looking calm. Manager is in demand, linked with Karlsruhe in Bundesliga 2. He's denied it, saying nothing is drawing me away from here. It's certainly a reputation that's only been growing. Verl have a remarkable track record of turning managers into sought-after coaches. Capretti, Kniat, Ende all achieved promotion elsewhere after moving on to pastures new. Space here for Namdi. That's wrapped in nicely. Tried to wrap it into forward run of Yariotto. Ball down the line, but miscommunication doesn't seem to help the cause. Referee almost gets in the way, but here is Berkantaz. Hand up on this near side. Hamdi is found brilliantly. Tries to go for the byline, but nudged out of it. Great play to cover from Lucas Brömer. Well, Kosniat said his squad showed extreme anticipation in training. 3,000 fans who travelled to Stuttgart for the 6-1 demolition job they suffered. They called the response of the fans extraordinary, as we see today. Packed in. They could be silenced if Verl with a little bit more careful in possession. Fröhlich now with Brömer. Two of them helping to maintain possession. Launched long by Golz. Well won. Unterschnick holding out left. Brömer elects to go back. Now it's lifted in behind, and the Slovenian was on the move. Had to be cut out by Kajowski. And that is the first corner of the match. Terrific atmosphere. Rot-Weiss Essen certainly haven't had their way against Verl. They have won none of their 7 meetings in Dritte Liga. Reverse fixture ending 0-0 in December, meaning it's 3 wins and 4 draws for the Black and Whites. Ball swung in low, goes all the way across goal, and now thumped away by Joshua Eze. Player back in the Verl lineup after returning from a thigh injury that kept him out of the last 2 games. Stunning ball to return it to Mizuta, but he's forced back, but it's now room that's opened up for Brömer to step into. Swung across. Verl get it away, but only inside their own area. Mizuta to the back post. Oh, a late run, but it's headed back across Verl's own goal. They do, at least initially, manage to break away, and Mahandi does brilliantly to anticipate the flight of the ball. The referee electing not to flash cards around early. Seems a sensible approach. Lead Mandy. A couple of caps for Morocco under 23s. German-born defender, just 22 years of age. Arrived at Verl from Greuther Fürth on a free transfer. And initially come through the Aachen, Victoria Köln youth teams. Certainly starting to find his stride. Bad when you manage to bill yourself and produce the Dritte Liga. Achraf Hakimi. Positive pass forward that eventually ends at Taz. He gets dragged back and stumbled into a following challenge, and there is a first yellow card. I'm not sure why there's quite the bemusement. Certainly was for the first challenge here, a little drag. Wasn't too much in it, but it certainly put the number 10 off his stride. The first yellow card of the match, Gianluca Frankowski. Not too much of a flow to the match. Plenty of nerves will do that. Can Verl put the cat among the pigeons here in a packed Essen? Well, just before the strike came in, although off target, flag had been raised. Getting a chance in midfield of late. Dennis Wagner, Flynn Otto, big misses as well as Timur Geret. Such a huge blow for the 27-year-old midfielder, given he just confirmed his soon departure to pastures new with the club's blessing. Paderborn awaiting, but cruciate ligament tear and a huge blow. 27 years of age. Now a chance for Rot-Weiss Essen to stride forward. Brummer wants it. Instead, it's a poor ball that allows Verl to try and break out. They don't get far, though. Very congested as Brummer down the line. Safi on the move. Cuts back. And now goes for goal. The referee says nothing to see. And the very light calls for a penalty as Brummer now swings at a brilliant ball. Safi keeps it alive. Mazuta. Bit of pressure now from Rot-Weiss Essen. Cuts back onto the left. Strakowski. Verl just stuck inside the box, and now they're going to be back there because that is a horrible challenge. And no wonder that's a yellow card. Even his teammate looking and wondering why. Werner looking at his teammate, why on earth he needed to fly into the challenge. Booking on his return to the first team, Misha Stoker mentioned that it's his first start this season at centre-back. showing a bit of rustiness for sure in place of Flynn Otto. Treatment needed. Completely mistimed this. And it's a sore one for Yannick Hoffmann. It's a challenge that certainly brought plenty of medical attention. Kralik will be one of those up from the back who'll fancy a chance to attack the ball. The 27-year-old waiting. 2 goals this season. Centre back is Bruma and Mizuta. Stand over this. Can Essen find the breakthrough they so desperately desire? Bruma. It's tipped over. Well, Schultz taking absolutely no chances with this looping effort. Might have hit the crossbar. He wasn't going to wait to find out. Crowd beating the drum, hoping for the breakthrough, and it could come from a stunning potential effort, but blocked. Not denying a long ranger from Hoffmann. Looking to provide punishment for that challenge from Stocher. Sides looking for creative solutions to this deadlocked match. So far only goals in Rostock. Hansa equalising after Sessa's early opener for Stuttgart. Fat kick, making it 1 apiece there. So as things stand, it's Cottbus. Goal difference moving up to second. Rot-Weiss Essen will be 2 points behind second and third going into the final match days, and Verl would only be in the reckoning for a top 4 finish if they won and Essen lost their last game, given their superior goal difference. Second place means promotion alongside Osnabrück, the champions. Third place, providing a playoff with the third bottom side in Bundesliga 2. As Verl look to play their way through, it's brilliantly played. Goes with a big save at his near post. And now it's suddenly opened up. Mizuta looks early. Safi has a little look round, gauging his surroundings. Number 7 to the edge of the box, back to Mizuta. Tried to shift it. It's neat feet from the Japanese. Safi waits for support, deflected, and he clears his lines to halfway. Big chance for Verl. Then with numbers back to defend manfully against the Rot-Weiss Essen retort. So far, no changes in the table. Mannheim facing off against Regensburg later today. But all the interest this afternoon, all of the top 6 in action except for Duisburg, who failed to get the job done and already relegated. Etzegabaga Aua. Berkantaz. Verl need to win. But they don't need to be in a rush. Trying to strike when the moment arrives. Brummer trying to turn, but on his shoulder. Krolich with a switch of play. Hoffmann. Twisting and turning. Spaniards Jose Enrique Rios Alonso. Only one in the back line to keep his place. Another free kick. And Sefi playing the cheerleader. Great footwork there just to nick it away from ends. Will the end result be a home opener? So Musil, Krolich, Huning, Rios Alonso up. Dummy run. Mazuta now tries to put it on the head of Krolich. It's a vital header away. Andy complaining, but I wonder if he's complaining about his teammates. Unless he thought he'd been fouled, but this was the chance. The ball slipped through by Verl, but denied. There's the young Bosnian midfielder, Mesanovic. Only his 9th appearance of the season. What an opener that would have been, but Safi doesn't quite get his delivery right, but he puts it on to the left boot of Musil. Finds a good ball out. Krolich drives it through the crowd. Bounced up nicely for Stocker. Krolich back on defensive duties, and that's really well recovered. Brummer. A great ball into space. Safi on the turn. Fires it into the young striker, but couldn't take it in his stride. Potoknik would have been a challenging one, but was an opportunity to get a touch and a shot away. Well, he'll be happier with some of the attacking output of his side, but it's not exactly been exactly what they would have wanted to see. That opening goal yet to arrive. Mandy with time and space. Trying a quick little triangle that worked before to create that chance. Mesanovic involved again, but it's Rot-Weiss Essen who have a bit of space to work in. Chance to attack the back four. Mizuta. Great little ball down the line. Blocked though by Stocker. In fact, it was Kajewski tucking in. Pressure taken off, feeling the contact and then chopped down. ends. It's actually Kajewski slotted in at centre back. Stocker out on the left. Captain. Bit of uncomfortable ball back to Schultz. But eventually the exchange works. They'll go again. It's an incredible job Tobias Strobel has done with such a small squad. Just trying to get through these last couple of games where they know likely going to need 2 victories. Well, certainly Hansa Rostock are making things interesting. They have suddenly burst into a 3-1 lead. As things stand, they're just 3 points behind Cottbus and Duisburg. 1 behind Essen. So it could get very tight and tasty on the final match day. Hansa Rostock, the only side in the top 6 to be winning. Champions Osnabrück currently trained to who will provide the final day competition for Rot-Weiss Essen when they go on the road to the Ravens. For Verl, they face a final match day at home to 1860 Munich. But as it was in the reverse fixture in December, goalless here between Essen and Verl. Just not getting to the ball before Safi. Now a chance to deliver the ball in. Just runs away from Potoknik. Now a chance to win it back, but Taz goes shoulder to shoulder. Not in the referee's opinion. Well, not a lot in that. Certainly Hoffman hit the ground. Rizuta, brilliant footwork. It's a little bit of afters there. It's Brummer. Gets on with it quickly down the line to Safi. Can they find the opening goal that would bring a massive roar from the stadion? Brummer does well to touch the ball and take the contact, although not in the opinion of Jonas Arweiler. 14 goals this season, 29-year-old forward. Certainly showing plenty of vim and vigour. Quite obviously catching Brummer. Not sure what exactly he's complaining about. A little bit of a niggle to the match. Will that help us see an intensity that might bring about an opening goal? But it's a match neither dare to lose, even if a draw might not be the best result. It could yet still at least keep them alive. Rot-Weiss Essen to the final day, whereas for Verl, win or bust. But it could be bust if Safi could have hit the target. Well, great play to get to the byline. Cut back on. Safi was set. Just got under it to clear the bar after Hoffman's pickup. Hasn't been really able to provide the numbers he would have hoped. 26-year-old Dutch-born winger. Just the 3 goals this campaign. Arrived at the club from Rodenhausen in the summer of 2024. Hasn't quite been able to replicate his output of last season when he managed 6 goals, 37 appearances. But Rot-Weiss Essen have never beaten Verl in Dritte Liga. Given their desperation to get back into a vein of positivity and a push for the second tier, an ideal time to snap that little bit of history. Flynn Otto injured the build up to the match. Whether he'll be able to play before his upcoming move to Nuremberg. But here goes Mahamdi. Brilliant play and just brings so many players in. But Mazuta with a wonderful recovery challenge. Well, the referee not seeing that as a free kick despite an earlier decision. Slowly back to his feet, Potosnik, as Masanovic got the benefit of the doubt. Ball clipped wide, chase on. We haven't seen much of Marco Werner. Keeps the ball in and then can't keep possession. But Verl will have the throw and they take it quickly. Well, Flynn Otto out, Jari Otto is in as we see this back. Wonderful challenge from Mizuta. And he didn't see him coming. Well recovered, Amdi. Gets caught up though. Does well though to feed it to Eze, but he loses out. And a crunching challenge. And Otto, the next player to be booked. Jari Otto reacting as if he got it all wrong very quickly. Third yellow card. Well, certainly the goals being conceded has been stopped to a large degree. Given 13 in the last 3 that ended in, surprisingly, 3 defeats. There wouldn't have been so much worry despite the pain of defeats at Cottbus. 5-3 thriller. Just beaten out by 2 goals, having led 3-1. 92nd minute winner from Biancardi. But it was the defeat at home here against Saarbrücken which should have really provided concern. A highly winnable match, and then the thrashing from Stuttgart, second side. Suddenly all the positivity sucked out of the red and white army, but they've not lost the faith. Verl putting the pressure on Mohammadi. Thought about an early cross instead. Drives at Brummer and wins the corner. Well, Rot-Weiss Essen were last in the second tier in 2006-07, nearly 20 years ago. They've bounced between Dritte Liga and the regional ligas since. Short stays in the second tier. Desperate for another go, while Verl have never ever made it that far. Brummer, oh, that is a nasty one for the wing back, blocking the cross and then to completely twisted his ankle. That is a big concern. Shinat will be hoping he doesn't have to make an early change, but it might be that that's the case, and the signal seems to be it's game over for Brummer. That is a huge blow. And there you go, the change confirmed, and on comes Mikael Koska. 24th appearance of the season for the young German centre-back, who dropped out of the starting lineup after Stuttgart. Wait to see how they readjust after this corner from Taz. Flicked away by Kraulich. Joshua Eze recovers it, lifts it. A great ball to his captain, but can't hold on to it, Kajewski. The break was on. Flash off the ball, referee not interested as Verl just take a pause and a breather. 2.5 minutes before the 45 is up. I'm sure we'll see too much additional time. The question is, will we see Brummer for the final match day? I certainly hope so. Certainly will hope to have something to play for. Given the result of Duisburg, whatever happens, they will have a chance to finish top 3. But a victory would draw them level. Verl, they were desperate to draw level with Essen. 3 points behind them at the start of play. Short from Taz to Mahamdi. Eze. It's flicked down onto the edge of the area. Well kept alive by Kajewski. Ball swung in. Flicked away, and Mazuta able to get there and clip it down the line. Kraulich's on the move. Forces the challenge from Masanovic. Well, it's a full house here. Rot-Weiss Essen will also be taking over 4,000 fans to their final match day against Ulm, already relegated. They hope to be attending an incredible promotion party, or at least a playoff to come. So cool under pressure, Mahamdi. Now there have been a total 3 shots, 1 on target each, but not much to write home about. With 2 minutes to be added to this first half, where tension is certainly playing a big part in proceedings. So it does look like Koska is filling in like for Brummer and doing brilliantly. Great bounce challenge, and then forces the clearance of Ends to earn a throw the halfway. Certainly making a positive contribution since stepping off the bench. Nominally a right back, has played on the opposite side. Did so against Ingolstadt in a 4-1 home win. Although equally, he was on the left side when Stuttgart scored 6, so it can go both ways. There is certainly more solidity about Essen going to back 3 with wing-backs. But of course that has also inhibited their attack as well. Verl themselves 79 goals, the most in the division, but have yet to strike that one excellent chance created and then denied by Goltz. So the halftime whistle sounds. Verl have to win, but at the moment they are goalless at Rot-Weiss Essen, who know at least avoiding defeat would keep them in the hunt, but victory might put them in a driving seat. But as it is at the halftime break, Rot-Weiss Essen 0, Verl 0. Well, welcome back. It's a stunning atmosphere here. But as yet, the fans who have packed out the stadium have not yet been rewarded with any goals, but may have not been any for the home side, neither for Verl. So as things stand, things are okay for Rot-Weiss Essen as they look to end a horror run of 3 straight defeats. But a point will mean they're still looking for favours on the final match day. He's looking to try and take it to the final day. Verl, no, it's victory or bust. And at the moment, Hansa Rostock are the only top 6 side who are managing to do that. They're looking for their first win in 4 to give them a final day shootout. And again, Kuppus drawing 1 apiece as they host Venn. They had to come back from 1-0 down. But as it is, the only goalless match of this Saturday afternoon. Of course, the Aue 0, Duisburg 0 result last night has given a little bit of insurance if things don't pan out. Rot-Weiss Essen will have the opportunity for a top 3 finish, even in defeat. But as mentioned, without victory, they'll be looking for favours. Verl, no, they've got the best goal difference in the division, and so an early goal would certainly put them on the move. And Gultz, after making a fine first half save, has had to make a flying one there just 40 seconds into the second half. Big chance for Verl's number 9. Swung his boot at this beautifully after a lovely couple of touches. But Jonas Arvela unable to make it a 15th goal of the season, just too close to Gultz, who did well to get distance on that punch. Swung over the shoulder by Stocher. Well, that seemed to have fallen nicely, but the flag is up. So are we going to see a little bit more attacking industry from either side? Verl certainly have looked the more likely just. Rot-Weiss Essen want to create some history. 20 years outside the top 2 divisions, they've never beaten Verl in the 3rd tier in the 7 previous encounters. Now a long throw from Jose Enrique. Rios Alonso hopes to start the change of that. Launches in. A lot of holding and hugging. Taz helping out as Arvela clears lines. Verl more than happy to sit in and pick their moments to try and pick the Rot-Weiss Essen lock. Well, fantastic inadvertent back heel. That gets the ball to Masonovic, who plays it to Mandy. Looking for a bit of movement. Taz wants it, gets it in the hole. Kraulik comes and snaps in and gets that little bit of luck, but makes a lot of it. Finds Safi, who's caught out. Ends frustrated. He's been penalised. Wasn't it his best touch, certainly. Somewhat down in installments. Hoffman looking for runners, gets a willing one. Drilled across. Across from Mizuta. Snicked away. Good play from Rios Alonso. And that gets the home side back on the front foot. Mizuta. Flicked away by the captain, Kajewski. Mahandi. Is he? Did well to take that. Bit of a fired ball from Andy, but he didn't return one that was much better. Brilliant take from Hoffman. Well, he might take it on himself, just waiting for that moment, but it never came. Well, this was the ball fired through. Rot-Weiss Essen haven't had many chances. This is a rare one, but incredibly comfortable for Schultz. And now they might be in here! And all of a sudden, Rot-Weiss Essen have broken the deadlock. Well, a huge roar welcomes a huge goal. Well, what a moment to score your first goal of the season. 21-year-old Gianluca Schwakowski. And it comes from a Verl mistake. A horror pass, beautifully read and dispatched. Rot-Weiss Essen pressing Verl's self-destruction button. And what a moment for the young player who could be firing Rot-Weiss Essen towards Bundesliga 2. Still work to do, but that's a huge moment. Schwajowski firing in just a second Dritte Liga goal. The first of which came in a 2-2 draw last season against Stuttgart's second side in a 15-minute cameo. But his first goal since starting a match. What a moment. Well, he hadn't started a match since mid-January. He's only had 2 minutes of action that came in March. He's hardly been involved. But when it was panic stations for the coach, Ove Kosniat has found a young hero. Well, Verl now very much up against it because they're going to have to come from behind and win to keep their season going until the final day. Rot-Weiss Essen looking to get back the winning streak they had before, and suddenly the chances are raining down, but the black shirt's able to get in the way. Mezuta. Well, this is the Rot-Weiss Essen we remember from their 7-match winning streak before the rudders fell off the boat in the last 3 outings. Well, they came out in force. And Kosniat's side are finally delivering, although a long way to go. But they'll want to make sure they take full advantage of taking the initiative after a first half that barely offered a chance of any goals. But there might be something here. Rot-Weiss Essen, enough danger there for Schultz to flick away. Well, a 75th goal of the season for Essen. This is a matchup of the two best scoring teams in Dritte Liga. But the pressure and strain of the end of the season certainly impacted them. But there we see it. Rot-Weiss Essen still in fourth, but level on points with Cottbus and Duisburg. Problem for Essen has been concessions. They may have scored 75 now. They've conceded 64 in the previous 36 match days. And that sees them in arrears to Duisburg by 6 goals. Cottbus by a further 2. But it does mean, if it was to stay as it is, they could finish second if Cottbus and Duisburg fail to win on the final day. And they are victorious with a huge travelling support at Ulm. Verl, the moment, are out of things. Hansa Rostock giving themselves a chance. Now a ball in behind, the crowd getting excited. Safi putting on pressure, but ends well positioned to make sure that didn't get worse. Particularly given the fact he had Potosnik on his shoulder, but look at the men in red and white, full of vim and vigour now. Moser getting tangled up with Eze. Well, this was superb pressing. Kudruski back to his goalkeeper, tried to play it out, and then this pass from Otto, gobbled up, and then quick as a flash, fired for goal. And what a moment for the young midfielder. Gianluca Sojowski, a second Dritte Liga goal, a first of this season, and the first time he's done so as a starter. And he certainly got the start of the second half off to a flyer. Well, he's given a furious call to arms. He doesn't want anyone to let the standards slip. He certainly won't want to do without Hoffmann. He's already seen Luca Bröme have to head off injured after blocking across from Mahamdi. Saw Koska come on at left wing back. Well, Rot-Weiss Essen found a way to goal in this change to a back 5. Now hoping that solidity that they've shown so far will help them see their way to a massive 3 points and make it an almighty finale next weekend in Dritte Liga. 16th of May, Saturday date with all matches at 1:30 local time kickoff. Certainly not to be missed. At this point, there'll be 4 teams hunting a top 3 position. And now it's Verl looking to respond. Well, second place, the most coveted, automatic promotion to Bundesliga 2. Third will mean a playoff with the 16th place side in Bundesliga 2. Fourth place, no promotion. Oh, that almost could have snuck in. There will be another corner. Well, they were Fortunate that Goltz is alerted at his near post. Short corner this time. Verl looking to pick their way through. Eze just lifts it to no one. Well, his side have a huge task to try and turn this round. Losing Flynn Otto late to injury certainly was a blow. But they're looking for Taz and their other attacking talent to fire their way back into this, but Rot-Weiss Essen are looking to slam the door shut. Safi, Hoffman, just enough. Wise up. More potent Nick, not happy with the decision, as the opinion of the fans as well. The Stadion and their Hafenstrasse certainly set up for a party. Will it be one rubber stamped? Because they need to make sure they keep hold of this victory. At the moment, it's Verl attacking. Lovely ball in behind. What a challenge that is. And a huge celebration. Ben Hunen, another who hasn't seen much football, the young 21-year-old, stepping into the breach. And that was a vital reading of the play. One of the winter arrivals from Borussia Dortmund's second side. A return to Essen, having previously been part of the under-19 setup. This just a 10th Dritte Liga appearance for the young defender. Twisting and turning. Fröhlich finds Goltz. He's happy to launch long. And now, a little bit of pressure, but Kaczewski plays it down the line. Hoffman snapping in. So Rot-Weiss Essen currently the live standings 4th because of goal difference. Well, that's broken kindly for Mizuta. So as things stand, they would end up with just access to the Pokal, the German Cup. Duisburg, as things stand, 3rd place, and at the moment they play Fortuna Düsseldorf, but that could change massively. There's just 3 points between the 14th and 17th in the second tier. And Fortuna Düsseldorf and Grota Wörth themselves have an extra game in hand over Arminia Bielefeld, Braunschweig. Substitutions for Rot-Weiss Essen, and he certainly won't forget his day. A brilliant moment that he created himself. Sajowski certainly making his imprint on this match with a priceless opener, and he goes off for Ruben Reisig. Reisig, one of those 6 to have lost their place in the lineup. also a return for Niels Kaiser. He's certainly taking the adulations. Long ball, Safi tries to pluck it out the sky. It's given away. Lost his footing initially, Mazzuta. So a change that sees Eze off. He was returning from a thigh injury. So he's replaced by Julian Stark. 5 goals and an assist for the 25-year-old this season. Wait to see if there's any tweak. Long throw launched by Reisig. Fraulich putting the pressure on. There'll be a free kick, despite the defender's protestations. Now he has to try and get back. Instead, he's going to lead the press. Showing excellent energy. Kraulich. Just the 24th appearance of the season for the 27-year-old. Verl, Berkan Taz, we haven't seen enough of him. Hasn't been able to put his imprint on the match. That's a deflection. That will see a corner kick. Nearly out of nothing. Ball swung in deep. Well, a bit of a fumble there, but now Otto goes down. Oh, the referee says the ball was won. Yari Otto stays down as Mazzuta links with Safi. Turns the ball, but it really didn't give the Japanese midfielder much to work with. Reminder that Reisig replacing the goal scorer Sajowski, and Niels Kaiser heading on for his 10th appearance of the season to replace Hoffmann. Both wing-backs having to be replaced. Brummer in the first half after a sore ankle twist for Koska. Hoffmann didn't look as bad, but certainly had taken a knock previously to being replaced. And Joshua Eze back from injury, taking his seat on the bench an hour in. Julian Stark sent on to try and help instigate a response from Verl. They're going to have to start throwing caution to the wind because it's win or bust. A draw will not be enough. Now a chance, Rot-Weiss Essen desperate to find a second goal. Mazzuta brilliantly played towards Safi, but that's well defended. Stocker tucking in. Getting that opener. It's really validated the change of system for Rot-Weiss Essen. Now backing themselves to try and keep Verl at bay. Kralik has been a massive part of that. His return to the starting lineup. We couldn't find a better ball out. Whether we still might see top scorer Janssen on. There's now Buttersnick continuing up top. Strong challenges. Eventually the referee providing Verl with the free kick. This is the penalty decision. Also keeping it in place, certainly. But even if the ball wasn't played by Kaiser, as the referee indicated, there certainly was no foul. Otto going for the dramatics. Now the ball swung in, flicked up, danger not over. And now cleared over the head by Mazuta. Verl have time, but it will quickly start to run out. 20 minutes remaining. Long ranger deflected. Deflected wide. Gold certainly thankful. Can Verl hit back? They've got the bodies forward, but taking it short. Do they have a final product? Delayed delivery. Flashes all the way across the box. Well blocked. But Rot-Weiss Essen able to just knock it around comfortably. Although the clearance lacking some accuracy. Verl putting pressure on, but the curler an easy take. Well, he is just desperate to get 3 points, however it comes. After 3 damaging defeats, when promotion to Bundesliga 2 looked to already be assured mid-April. You can never count your chickens before they've hatched, particularly in the competitive nature of the German third tier. And you see Stuttgart second side beat Essen 6-1, they're now losing 4-2 at Hansa Rostock. Well, there's not many options. But Verl making their changes. So on comes Alem Japar. It's just a 5th appearance of the season for the big striker. Hasanovic heading off. Fabian Vessig, the other to come on for Jari Otto. Sending on 2 players without a goal this season shows how few options there are to play with for young boss Tobias Strobel, but he's looking for a magic moment from his number 10. What a strong hand to try and hand Rot-Weiss Essen a victory. Jakob Golds right behind this. Japar getting involved straight away. Great cutback. Left for Taz, who set it up. That is magnificent goalkeeping. All swung in, but at the near post, headed away. They'll try again. Taz whips it into the near post. Someone running across, but couldn't get there before Golds had it in hand. Well, this blind cutback, but it fell kindly for the number 10. Stoker correctly getting out the way. Verl, the league's top scorers, need to find 2 goals in this final quarter of an hour. Taz, driving run, but he's showing good strength. Up against Kostka. The crowd certainly like that. But 2 Rot-Weiss Essen players have taken each other out. Verl with the ball in, but there's too much on it. It's a let-off. Strobel just not seeing the best of his side. A few chances they have made, they haven't been able to take, and Essen heading towards a massive victory that will make some final day shootout. Unless Cottbus can find a winner, there's going to be 3 sides on 67 points in the fight for the podium. And Hansa Rostock will need an almighty run of results in order to pinch. They face a trip to Saarbrücken. They'll need Cottbus, Duisburg and Essen all to lose to make it second, but it's Verl who want to get back in the conversation. Kraulich with a massive header, and now he's under it again. Safi pulled down, that's going to be a booking, in fact, play on, and if that had been played ahead of Mizuta, Rot-Weiss Essen were in. The yellow card does come out. There was always going to be a booking for this drag back. It should have been curtains. Would have been a better ball. So Julian Stark confirmed with that yellow card. Safi back from suspension today. And looking for a strong finish to get Essen over the line. Essen will go into the final match day the underdogs, at least in terms of their goal difference, so they will need favours. Second place, the coveted position. Third, an acceptable consolation. Fourth place with a cup run option, but guaranteed continuation in the third tier. Essen have never beaten Verl in Dritte Liga in 7 attempts. Is it going to be 8th time lucky? Looks like being. Well, this fight for the podium only got interesting. Cottbus lost their last match. Duisburg failed to win last night. And Essen's 3-match losing streak after 7 straight victories. But they haven't got this job done yet. Swing high. Can he catch it? Yes, he can. Berkantaz. Well blocked. Further changes. So here comes Marvin Obutz. Alongside him, Danny Schmidt. The latter on loan from Fortuna Düsseldorf. They're at risk of dropping to the 3rd tier. A German under-17 international. Just a 6th appearance of the season. Obutz. Just 2 goals in his previous 35 appearances, 4 assists. Hoping to make an impact off the bench as they try and see out this victory. Ball swung in. Cleared away only as far as Taz. Got his foot through it. High and over. So Torben Mussel heading off. Rami and Safi also having run his race. Essen just happy to see this out. It's only ever going to be a reversal of the defeat they suffered last time out, to give themselves a chance of closing. Further 6 goals there behind Duisburg. So it's win and then hope for a slip up from the other 2. Offside, that's frustrating, as there was space to get in behind. Potoknik was on the inside lane. Schmidt there couldn't time his run. Well, the end of the day for Arvela. Big moment for young Bamba. Stocker also heading off. Appearance late for Tobias Gnosk. So Manuel Bamba. He's going to, and we see Tobias Knost for Arvela. And Emmanuel Bamba is going to be heading off soon. Coming on for his first appearance of the season, showing how much they're down to bare bones. He's only been on the bench the last couple of times. And his debut in the Dritte Liga. Just the one previous appearance this season in the Westfalen Pokal. That was in the earlier rounds. They do have the final to look forward to, and they take on SF Lotte, having smashed TS Dortmund 8-0 in the semi-finals, but they haven't found their scoring boots this afternoon. Not yet, anyway. A bit of stretching off after stretching to get there first. No late goal news from Cottbus, which will be good news for this man and Essen. He's really struggling. Had a brilliant block earlier in the match. Just a 9th appearance of the season for the 21-year-old. So no wonder the minutes seem to be catching up with him. Ball launched in long, but headed back to sender. Kajewski. Bamba. Trying to make a name for himself, but easily blocked. Kajewski, the captain, swings it in. Referee not interested. That's recycled. Deep cross. Flicked away, but it does run for Taz. Dummied the cross, now flicks it into a great area. Oh, well. Almost into an unguarded net, but blocked. And then again, as it was threatening the goal of goals. Verl bringing some late pressure. Cuts back in, swings it deep, and that feels like almost that. The vital nature of this win is because, while it's unlikely Essen would outscore Duisburg and Cottbus going into the final match, they would only need one or both to draw to get onto the podium, whereas a draw would leave them 2 points adrift, and they would need one or both to lose. So if they can confirm the victory here, that would be beyond relief for the Red and White Army. The move breaking down, but recycling possession until the flag went up was wasting some precious time. Well, come full time, we'll know the picture for matchday 38. It looks like being a four-way fight for the podium and top four, as a Rostock will be the most unlikely, but will have the opportunity, given their better goal difference, of their rivals Essen, Duisburg and Cottbus. Those three who, as it stands, will start the final day on the same number of points. Mazuta electing to take the foul. And now he seems to be in trouble. Picking up a yellow card, but also he's going to have to continue or leave Rot-Weiss Essen down to 10. He seems to have just realised that. Well, are they going to be nominally down to 10 if Mazuta can't move? Taz. Bamba. It's bobbling around. The home side able to clear to halfway. Mahamdi. What a ball that is to Bamba. But he can't control And a throw for Essen. Verl out of time and look to be out of goals for the best scorers in Dritte Liga. Not too subtle from Henning there. Mahamdi to Taz. The most goal contributions of the season. Along with his side, looks to be drawing a blank. Emmanuel Bamba though swings at a beautiful ball. Cleared away. And falls kindly for Schmidt, the substitute. Looking for the run on the left-hand side, surely. Tried to cut it, but it didn't reach. And now forcing it back. Second prize. Waiting to see what additional time there will be. Picked up by Japur. That's going to be an easy tidy up. Rio Alonso tried to let it run when he couldn't. Sit on it, flick it up. Now a break could be on. Space out wide. Rot-Weiss Essen looking for a clinch second. Pushed very wide, Obus. But can he still create? Tries the little scissor run. Oh, not nice looking challenge, but thankfully no contact made. And then anywhere will do in the stands. I'm not sure from the red and white army the ball's going to come back with any great speed. So Schultz looks for another. Now the ball's thrown on. But they're able to play on and ignore it. What a header! He's been an absolute Goliath today, Krullich. At both ends. And he's been found up there after a set piece, leading the press, but he is certainly impressed in that back three with young Henning and Rios Alonso. And it's going to be a huge clean sheet if they can hold on to it. Still waiting to know exactly how much added time there's going to be. We've almost played 2 minutes. Long ball, Verl. Not looking to sit back despite the unlikely event of getting 2 goals. This would be a first clean sheet for Rot-Weiss Essen since they defeated Duisburg on the 4th of April. 5 games have followed. And they've conceded an eye-watering 15 goals. Not today. At least not with just minutes remaining. More injured bodies. A lot of players who haven't played an awful lot of football, with the main start of this season losing their places. Schultz and Janssen, their top scorer, the latter, not making their appearance, but there's been a massive goal. Energy Kutbus look to be taking centre stage in second place. They will have a 2-point advantage over Duisburg and Rot-Weiss Essen. And what a massive goal that could prove to be in the 91st minute. Jersey with the strike. What a moment for the 34-year-old. What a time to get your first goal of the season. That was the case for our match winner as things stand. Sajowski striking on 51 minutes. Cottbus's goal changes things a little. It means now for Rot-Weiss Essen to go directly up to Bundesliga 2. They need Cottbus to lose on their final match day when they travel to Regensburg, and then win when they travel to Ulm. Duisburg, who could have been in the same position as Cottbus but drew at Aue, host Viktoria Köln. But Rot-Weiss Essen are just over 30 seconds away from a first ever Dritte Liga win over Verl at the 8th attempt, and give themselves a chance of a route to the Bundesliga 2, which they seem to have in the bag back in mid-April after 7 straight wins. Obus dancing through, well, that's tidied up, but Verl at the wrong end of the pitch and looked to be on the wrong end of a 1-0 defeat. Mazuta, thankfully for Rot-Weiss Essen, seems to have got back to feeling okay. They wanted to come off before, and now protecting the ball, protecting what would be a huge win. The buzzer sounds in the stands, but not from the referee's whistle. But is it all over now? Well, incredibly, Hansa Rostock were doing their goal difference no harm. It's now 4-3. Stuttgart rediscovering their scoring boots. But they still have a chance, although second place is now gone for them after Cottbus's late win. If that's confirmed, but they could still finish third. It's still going to be an awfully exciting final match day. But Rot-Weiss Essen, they have to hold on to this victory here to give themselves the best possible chance. And they have done just that. A massive victory. Hard fought, hard earned. But the response, the Rot-Weiss Essen players, has provided a massive victory. After changes, 6 of them from Kosciat, and a change of formation, it's paid off. Tobias Strobel's top scorers in Dritte Liga couldn't hit the mark. And it's Rot-Weiss Essen who go into the final match day with a chance of finding their way to Bundesliga 2. The final score here, Rot-Weiss Essen 1, Verl 0. A first ever third tier victory for Essen over Verl.